up. Today we are going to talk about drugs. Drugs. Even if it's prescription medicine, she was declined. They actually took her CJO away. Hey friends, welcome back to Fly with Liz. I am Liz and thank you for joining me, and thanks for returning if you've seen these videos before. If you're a new person to this channel, thank you so much for joining us. I talk about all things travel and flight attendant. Go ahead and click that subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up. Today we are going to talk about drugs. Drugs. I have not seen any videos out there on drugs or drug screening, becoming a flight attendant, so I definitely wanted to go over this topic. As you know, in some states, marijuana is legal, and there are other drugs that people don't think of that they will show up on your drug test. Stay tuned, because at the end, I'm going to tell you about somebody that was in my CJO group. I want to tell you a story about how she got her CJO and what happened as it relates to drugs. When you apply to be a flight attendant, you will be tested for drugs. Most likely, if you get the CJO on the spot, and it is an airline, most of the major airlines do it, they test you right after you get your CJO. So you will have to take a urine test when you are there. So make sure, leading up to it, if you are taking any kind of drugs or you're in a state where marijuana is legal and you're using it, make sure that once you start applying for airlines, you are very conscious of that and you stop that. Because if you take your DOT test, Department of Transportation test, when you get your CJO and you fail it, you will actually lose your opportunity. You will lose your CJO if you do not pass the drug screening. So yes, you will need to take one before you actually get hired. Leading up to your training, they might have you take another one, and then when you are on the job, they also do random drug tests from the Department of Transportation. So make sure you are aware of that. Make sure if you need to clean your system, you start cleaning your system probably as soon as you start applying for airlines, because you don't know how long it's going to take until you get that face-to-face and you get the drug screening. So you don't want to lose an opportunity of a lifetime to be a flight attendant, because that cancels it out. What does the drug screening screen for? And I'm just going to read you from the list right here. Maybe. Okay, so what does the drug screening screen for? It screens for these things: marijuana, THC, cocaine, PCP, amphetamines, and methamphetamines, or MDMA or ecstasy, opiates including morphine, codeine, heroin. So they're the main things that they are looking for. You can find it online. You can just look under the DOT, Department of Transportation Drug Test. That will give you some information, but keep in mind that you don't want to lose this career, that your dream job, because you failed a DOT test, a Department of Transportation test, and that will also have to get reported if you go to another airline, because it is in your history. It will be recorded by your name. So if you do fail it for one airline and you go to another one, it most likely will show up. So keep that in mind when you start applying, or you're in the process of applying to become a flight attendant, that they are going to test you, drug test you randomly once you start, but also test you usually the day you get your CJO, or if you go to the interview and they give you your CJO through email. Usually you have 24 hours. It's not like, oh, get it done. Usually they give you 24 hours once they send you that for you to go to Quest or go to somewhere and get that urine test done. It is not a big deal. Yes, it is a urine test. Yes, they do watch you, just to tell you the process. You go in, you fill out paperwork, they keep your ID, so they verify that it is you, and you do the urine test. You can't flush the toilet. You know, you're peeing into a cup. It's no fun. Nobody likes it. You have to drink lots of water beforehand. So all of that stuff to say that yes, you have to do it, and a lot of times it's in a very short time frame that they give you. So if you have something in your system, it's not enough time for you to get that out of your system. So just be aware of that. Okay, I told you I had a story for you. This actually happened when I got my CJO. This girl, she was the sweetest person. She was so sweet and so kind. She got her CJO. We all celebrated. Everybody got their CJO together. We all celebrated. We all ended up on a text chain where we were texting each other after the event when we all got back home about what was next and how excited we were. And she ended up texting our group one morning that she was declined. They actually took her CJO away. And the story was that she took somebody else's Adderall. She had ADHD. She didn't have her medicine. She didn't have a script. So going into the interview, she wanted to make sure that she was able to function and talk great. And she ended up taking a friend's Adderall that morning so that it would help her body, however that is for her. And then we got drug tested right on the spot after we got our CJO. She went home, she celebrated with her friends. Like I said, we were on a whole group chain, we were texting back and forth, and they ended up, when the drug test came back, because she didn't have a script in her name, even though it is a prescribed medicine, that's what you have to remember, even though it is a prescribed medicine and she is able to take it because it has been prescribed to her before, she actually, at the time of our CJO, she actually did not have a script for herself with the Adderall, with that medicine. So she was able to get one a couple days later, but the airline did not approve that, and she lost her CJO because the medicine she took was from a friend for that day. It was not part of her prescription medicine. So even if it's prescription medicine, hear me out. This is really, really important. Even if it's prescription medicine, something that is prescribed by doctors. We're not talking cocaine. We're not talking heroin. We're not talking heavy drugs. Even if it is prescribed from a doctor, it needs to be prescribed from your doctor, and there needs to be a script for it. So if it does show up on your drug screening test, you have a script that you are able to take it, and it is prescribed for something from your doctor, because the airline probably will check that out. So keep that in mind when you are thinking of going in for that face-to-face, when you start applying to become a flight attendant. Think about if you're taking anything. Think about how it could affect you. You don't want to get all the way through the process, get your CJO, go home, celebrate, and then have it taken away from you. And the worst part is when she does go for other airlines, most likely this test, the DOT test, because again, it's associated with her name, her date of birth, probably her social security number, I'm not sure about that, will show up, and she's going to have to report that she failed the drug screening test, a DOT test, previously. So it will follow you. So keep that in mind. Make good choices. Thank you again for watching. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and the like button. This is a short video. I just wanted to put it out there, so please do that. I will see you next time. Sending you all the hugs in the world from beautiful LA.